Howdy everyone, welcome to a new video that I've been working on for a while now, and today I'd like to discuss everyone's favorite big shots. No, I will not be doing the actual big shot sound effect because my voice is far too strained from having to do all the voice lines I pre-recorded before this and put through the filter that I made for it. So please forgive me for not actually doing the thing that everybody, kind of thinks of for Spamton, besides deals. So I would like to actually discuss Spamton, and first of all, his, general timeline that we can establish based off of all the evidence that we can gather, and also, at the end, what I actually think of his character, based off of somebody who, if you look at all the other videos on my channel, has experienced great success, has wanted more as a result, and has not gotten it. So, now's my chance to be a big shot. So, the beginning of Spamton's story starts out as when he was, likely originally an Addison before he acquired his, weird little small puppeteering salesman. Puppeteering? I just mean puppet salesman. Yeah, because puppeteering is the act of controlling the puppet, which would make whoever is on the other line the puppeteer of Spamton in this scenario. But, sorry, I'm getting away from the main topic. So, Spamton's origins were likely as an Addison or somehow related to the Addisons, though he was never particularly good at being a salesman, which, I guess is the result of why he became Spamton. What are you doing if your advertising isn't working? You start to, advertise more. You start to almost spam the advertising. All you're doing is making a ton of spam, a spam ton. So, Spamton G. Spamton, I guess. Anyway, Spamton wanted to be popular. He wanted to be a big shot. He wanted to be, he wanted to have all the attention on him, much like how Tenna did. Of course, he was the email guy. Not the big shot TV guy. But eventually, he made a contact. Someone had found him, and they offered him some sort of a deal. Now, through this deal, he would get sort of, insider knowledge on how to make himself a big shot. The only problem is that whoever was on the other line wanted something back in return. But anyway, sales for him skyrocketed. This year was likely 1997 due to his whole, number one salesman rated number one rated salesman, 1997. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, sorry, that's the one last Spamton impression you're getting out of me, and that was a terrible Spamton impression, so do not expect more. Anyway, Spamton now has his own little room in Queen's Mansion, which I guess sort of means that he, as the email guy, kind of had almost like his own little, app on the little... You know how you do that easy access bar if you're working on a PC, right? You have the easy access bar on the bottom. I don't know if that's only a Mac thing. I genuinely don't know here. But I'm just going to assume that he had his own little, quick-to-access thing, because, that would make sense if he had room in Queen's Mansion, since Queen's a laptop. Getting sidetracked here again, though now that he had the Queen's Mansion room, he was starting to become bigger and better than ever. Soon he had become even more popular and paid attention to than Tenna, the TV. He had surpassed the TV. He was now a big shot for sure. And Tenna, not wanting to lose relevance, likely wanted to get in on the deal, He wanted to see how Spamton himself had become a big shot, and so Spamton and Tenna's partnership had begun. However, eventually there had been some... how do I say this? Falling out between Spamton and his mysterious source, I guess. Actually, mysterious benefactor would be a better word. Spamton had falling out with his mysterious benefactor. And where this came from here was that now he likely sort of wasn't holding up on his end of the bargain. And so, whoever was on the other side of the phone, likely Gaster, I'm still going off of the person on the other side of the phone being Gaster theory. Gaster kind of got a bit displeased, and so, as Gaster has all the friends and whatnot, and since we know that Spamton is heavily associated with the Pippis, or Pippis? Peepees? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just going to go with Pippis. That's what I did in the recording. Though, since he's heavily associated with the Pippis, which are basically just little blue eggs, Gaster sent his friends out on him. The friends, of course, since they're cats, and according to the Mew Mew dialogue, they follow protein. And since they will follow a target forever once they lock onto it, Spamton started getting more and more nervous and paranoid. Eventually, this got so bad he stopped paying attention to the TV show with Tenna. And he sort of also lost a lot of the relevance as a result because he was not really even doing anything anymore. He was just probably huddled up in his room in Queen's Mansion trying to hide from those scary shadow cats that were following him everywhere. Now, from here, he'd eventually get evicted from Queen's Mansion, especially because now that the calls had run dry, his sales were dropping fast. And now he'd become less relevant than ever. But according to the Mew or Pink dialogue, whatever we want to call her, I'm just going to call her Pink from now on. According to the Pink dialogue, if somebody's being chased by the friends, the cats, they would likely be so paranoid and so nervous and so just wanting to get those things off their back that they'd do anything to escape them, even change their appearance or identity. And so, Spamton sort of also had to change his entire looks himself. He became more puppet-like, similar to that, pretty friendly-looking puppet self he has now. I mean, he literally looks like Woody in my eyes. I will never unsee Woody. Friend inside me. Anyway, so Spamton now is basically still holding onto that phone, but has been sort of evicted from Queen's Castle, as we know. Well, Queen's Mansion, actually. He's been evicted from Queen's Mansion. He still has the phone just in case somebody might pick up the phone for once. But, other than that, he's pretty much hopeless. He's living out of a dumpster. He already had to change his appearance up, become more puppet-like, get that, those weird rosy cheeks to him. Even took those glasses to try to, mimic them in an attempt of where if they tried to come after him, that they would identify him as one of themselves, so they might back off and not try to kill him. Actually, that makes sense why his hair turned black and everything he wears is black, too. He's trying to blend in with the front cats. Yes, that could be a very good theory title. Why Spamton is trying to mimic the front cats. I'll get working on that soon, guys. But anyway, this sort of leads him into the degenerative state we see by the time of the present day in Chapter 2. After some time has passed, likely decades even, Spamton is now living out of a dumpster and is definitely insane. Now, if he could just find that old Neo body he found one day in Queen's basement, that old Microsoft Paint sketch that's Mediton's ghost counterpart, I guess, would have made back in the old days, then he could just finally be free. He'd finally have those, stupid puppet strings lifted from him, so whoever he made the contract with, once again probably Gaster, would no longer be trying to control him. He'd no longer have the friend cats, going everywhere and following him. He'd finally be a big shot again. But the problem is he can never get into that mansion. However, one day he meets a new friend, a mysterious Lightner, which quickly comes back to him multiple times, and over time he's able to recruit this Lightner, Kris as he learns their name to be, to sort of help him get this body for which he so desires back from the basement of Queen's Mansion. Oh yes, and he even is able to add a little bit of incentive.
Kris, you little sponge. I knew you'd come here on a Saturday night. After all, you want to be big shots. E-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha. But how can you be? Listen, in the deep abyss of Queen's Mansion, a great deal is waiting for a limited time only, a heaven-piercing, workout-ready body. 6 you've come to expect. Copyrights 1997. Kris, that little nipper is our one-way ticket to make you big. Make me big. Before you know it, we'll be taking a ride around town on our special Congadero, vacationing in burning acid, while you soak in the hyperlink blocks. But Kris, don't breathe yet. The way is blocked by high-quality encryption. You will never get inside. Wait, Kris, look. Hear those balloons? You are 1,000th customer. As a commemorative ring, I will let you buy Keygen from me at the low price of, what do you think? It's such a steal. I'm myself. Take this deal and you will die. It's that good. Buy the keygen from me, unlock the basement, and get that empty disc.
Now, we know that Spamton definitely could have done this himself because based off of Task Manager's dialogue and also just the fact that he was evicted to begin with, there's no way in hell he'd ever be able to get back into Queen's Mansion, at least himself. As if he sent anyone else there, well, I'll let his next line speak to you itself.
Kris, buy keygen from me and go on to Queen's Mansion's luxurious basement apartments. What? Go myself? Kris! No! The men inside would! The men inside would!
Yeah, Spamton really was not welcome back there. Now, his shop dialogue also tells us a lot about his aspirations and his goals, such as...
I used to be nothing but the email guy. Now I'm the... It burns! Ow! Stop! Help me! It burns! Die! Amazed at this amazing transformation? You too can have a communion with... Soon I'll even surpass that damned clown around town. But unlike him, I'm gonna shoot for the sky and get on the path to the big one. I'll get so, I'll get so, I'll get so, I'll get so, I'll get so. Hyperlink blocked.
Even then, also his relation with the knight who probably gave him the Shadow Crystal, which is shown through this piece of dialogue right here.
Speaking of communion, Kris, did you know the knight? No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Too many excess vacation days. Take a goddamn vacation straight to hell.
Yeah, his employee-boss relationship was not likely the best with the higher-ups, and putting it out there, I think that this is evidence that he is still definitely being controlled on some level, especially with later the whole strings thing. And if you ask him about friends, he also gives this very interesting response, in my opinion.
Me? Friends? Kris, you and me are already friend request accepted. We don't need anyone else. We don't need easels or CRTs. We don't need any man, woman, or child at half price. We don't need Mike. Kris, don't believe anything you see on TV. The man's a criminal, I tell you, a criminal.
Yeah, so that also gives us basically confirmation that things did not fall out too well between Spamton and Tenna plus Tenna's workers and basically everyone in TV world. Yeah, Spamton, I think, just made an enemy of everyone he had met because of the whole, becoming paranoid after not holding up on his end of the deal. Anyway, eventually, Kris would come back with the empty disc, which Spamton would be, well, extremely pleased about.
Kris, you did it, you funky little worm. You brought me the disc. Hoochie mama, I can feel that smooth taste already. Now, Kris, don't be greedy. Hand over the disc. Then we will transfer my hyperlink blocks. Then, Kris, after this very, very important, go back and put the disc back where you got it. Do that and you'll have my special guarantee. I will pass my savings on to you. Every big, every shot, every hyperlink blocks. All yours, Kris. So what do you say, big shots? Warning, if you consent to the terms and agreements, our store is permanently closing down. The options transfer and do not are printed on extremely large and small, respectively. Finally, I knew you would. Request accepted. Kris, here I go. Begin the transfer.
Yeah, fair warning there, I just added some little characterization of my own to make them sound a bit more glitchy, but, I don't know if you guys would like that, but I kind of found it funny and also kind of fitting in the moments to do that. I don't know how that's going to be received, though, so please do not get mad about that. That was just my own stupid little experiment. Of course, once he gets that Neo body again, Spamton does not really react like a normal human being would. Well, I mean, a normal Darkner would. And instead of sort of seeking this as a wondrous occasion that he can finally maybe just, I don't know, chill out, relax maybe, I don't know, maybe move out of the dumpster, instead he gets a bit power hungry, and I'll let him speak for himself.
Do I feel good? Here I am, Kris. Bigger and better than ever. Ha ha ha! This power is freedom! I won't have to be just a puppet anymore! Or so I thought. What are these strings? Why am I not big enough? It's still dark. So dark. Kris! That's right! I need you to be big with me. Very, very big. So big we'll stand up tall and see past the dark. Stand up with our heads in the clouds and look into heaven. I just need that little soul you have. Kris, you have friends. Why don't you tell them about my 3-for-1 special? Today, the whole family can take a little ride around town. Attention customers, clean up on aisle 3. Someone left their souls lying around. Kris, was that a big shot just now? Wow, I'm so proud of you, I could kill you. Heaven, are you watching? It's time to make a very special deal.
So yeah, from there he basically tries to kill the Fun Gang, and in the end, the Fun Gang beats him. Of course, he loses the Neo body afterwards, and is kind of all tangled up in knots. Literally, he's hung up by the string. It's kind of sad but also hilarious and at the same time, and this is what he says after that.
It seems like, after all, I couldn't be anything more than a simple puppet. But you 3, you're strong. With a power like that, maybe you 3 can break your own strings. Let me become your strength.
And from there he is turned into a shadow crystal. Or, I mean, at least I know he joins the party. He doesn't become the Shadow Crystal, he just gives the Shadow Crystal. But, he basically stays in Kris's pocket from then on, and is also later on going to just be absolutely, probably laughing the entire time that he's in TV World, just because of the fact that he gets to watch Tenna get his arms chopped off by the Knight. Yeah. Though, on the Snowgrave route, or Weird route, I mean, we used to call it the Snowgrave route back then when Chapter T first came out, though now we're calling it the Weird route, or, well, some people are calling it Side B, but this is what he says in the Weird routes.
Let me say, thanks to your total jackass stunts, I have become Neo, and now it's my mansion, my city, my world. So why are you stealing the fountain? To screw me over right at the good part? What are you, a game show host? Kid, forget it. I'm an honest man. I'll let you pay your way out of this one. Pay with your rapidly shrinking life. I remember when you were just a lost little sponge, sleeping at the bottom of a dumpster. I gave you everything I had, my life advice. I told you for left, and asked you buy or don't buy. I gave you my commemorative ring for the price of my favorite ear. And this is how you repay me, treating me like DLC. No, I get it, it's you and that Ochi Mama. You've been making, haven't you? You've been making hyperlink blocks. And now that you have your own supply, you don't need me. I was too trusting, too honest. I've always been a man of the pippus. A real pippus person. I should have known you would have used my ring for evil. Oh, right. That's why I sold it to you. You think making frozen chicken with your side chick, it's gonna let you drink up that sweet, sweet freedom sauce. Well, you're right, but don't blame me when you're crying in a broken home, wishing you let your old pal Spamton kill you. My esteemed customer, I see you are attempting to deplete my HP. I'll admit it, you've got some guts, kid. But in a one-for-one battle, Neo never loses. It's time for a little blue light special. Didn't you know Neo is famous for his high defense? Now, enjoy the fireworks, kid. What, you're calling friends? Think you can beat me with your friends' magic? Go ahead, kid. Call all you want. No one will ever pick up. Go ahead and scream into the receiver. The voice runs out eventually. Your voice, their voice, until you realize you are all alone. There will be no more miracles, no more magic. You lost it when you tried to see too far. You lost it. You make me sick, muttering your lost friends' names at the bottom of a dumpster. No one's gonna help you. Get that through your beautiful head, you little worm. Her? You're still trying to use her? Ha 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 ha! You think she can hear you now? Muttering her name? What's she gonna do? Make me an ice cream? Hey, is it cold in here or is it just me?
And there, well, he gets a bit snowgraved. Yeah, he's dead, probably. Just putting it out there. But, yeah. You can take, especially from the Weird Bro dialogue, that Spamton definitely has a lot of insecurities and possibly even abandonment issues after, he sort of fell from grace, especially with the, you can call for, your friend's voice is all you want, but eventually, the voice on the receiver is gonna, run out. Your voice, their voice, that whole thing. I mean, I feel like that is definitely indicative of his mental state on just about everything at that point, because he obviously no longer trusts friendship. He obviously no longer trusts, well, really partnership either, definitely. He no longer really trusts anything. The only thing he trusts now is himself, and he thinks that people should really only trust themselves because, well, they're the only person that they can trust. The only person you can ever really know is yourself, so why would you trust anyone else? That's something that he had learned from, well, I don't know, being a big shot and then being a nothing. He went from being a big shot to being a sad little sponge, all alone in a dumpster, crying out his friends' names. Boy, that got dark. The problem is that people often misinterpret Spamton as this, silly, funny character that is, just all about sales and deals and being a big shot. But the problem is his story is a lot more terrifying and a lot more tragic than most people would ever expect, because of the fact that people just don't like to look into that fact, and they don't really think about his weird route dialogue as much as they should. Now, I know that a lot of people already cover this, but I feel like really he just overall is more of a, tragic sort of warning to people who seek success. He isn't this story of success that everybody tries to make it out to be. He isn't this story of, I don't know, just the death of the American dream. He is a tragic tale on what not to do, people. Do not make a deal with the devil. Do not sell your soul away. Do not sell away your freedom for the chance at bigger views, or bigger sales, or, I don't know, just bigger attention, bigger popularity, bigger grades, bigger anything. Spamton is a cautionary tale about wanting to chase success, and the problem is, if you've already had somewhat success, you sort of start to get addicted to it. You sort of just want to see that, bigger number. You want to get that next hit of adrenaline the second that you see a bigger view or a bigger cash symbol or just anything. You start to sort of project your own self-worth on how successful you are. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing. That's obviously very much a bad thing. You should not, try to focus yourself and quantify yourself based on how popular or how successful you are. I mean, that's already a major problem nowadays. And I mean, even with Mediton, for example, Mediton was the happy version of this. Mediton was he accepted himself for who he is, and he also now that he accepted himself for who he is, everybody also accepted him too, and his show took off. Mettaton and Spamton are exact opposites. Mettaton is what happens when you're actually able to get that success and you're able to keep it, but Spamton is when you taste that success and you're looking for more but just never can reach it. Like if you have 6.2 thousand views on a video and every other video has never even broken 500 views. Yeah, I only really started to understand how Spamton really thinks after that point, when I sort of had one pretty successful video, I'd say, the whole Who is the Roaring Knight thing, but then, I don't know, every other video of mine has never really been, that attention-grabbing. Even my funnier titles, or funnier thumbnails have gotten basically zero response from anyone, and, that was my chance to be a big shot. Now, would I change it? No, I would not want to change anything about this channel just to get more views. This is my passion project. This is, well, my real passion project of the video games I'm working on. But this is my way of, I don't know, getting my opinions out to the world. This is my way of speaking to others. This is my way of, being that weirdo who thinks about lore about some random video game constantly and just wants to joke around and express himself through crudely drawn doodles that he made on Freeform on his little whatever it's called. And I mean, I would not trade this for being a big shot. Now, would it be nice if I had thousands of subscribers and I was, I don't know, hitting not six figures, if I was hitting 6 digits every time that I posted a video? Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'd also feel like I'd have to sacrifice a lot of what makes my channel, and if I'd have to sacrifice that, I wouldn't. I mean, if I look back to my Roaring Knight video, it was probably the most corporate and soulless of them all, if I'm being completely honest with myself. I mean, it had the least doodles of them all, they had the least character of them all. I mean, I don't think I really even put any joke doodles into there. So why I'm saying this is that Spamton, throughout his dialogue, seems to be completely willing to compromise on who he is if he can figure out how to be a big shot again. And I kind of find that to be a bit sad. He's willing to sort of override that just to be a big shot again, just to gain some freedom. But the problem is, even if he somehow did escape the strings of whoever was on the other side of that phone, and he did get the friend cats off of him, I doubt that he'd actually really be free at all, because he'd still be chasing popularity, he'd still be chasing being a big shot. I mean, if you're addicted to something, do you give up just because you have it again? No, you keep trying to use more to try to get that same first high all over again. And I don't think that really most people think of Spamton as an addict, which he is. He is very much an addict to popularity. I mean, that's why he wants to be a big shot. He had that little sniff of popularity once. He had a little taste. And ever since then, he's just been chasing that high over and over and over again. That's why he needed to get that person on the phone back to him. That's why he sort of just completely mentally deteriorated the second that he was evicted from Queen's Palace. Once the spotlight was no longer on him, he didn't have anyone to really act for anymore. And by then, his entire personality was basically just acting, being this pompous, flamboyant salesman, being this big shot who knew how to get you all the successful deals that you could ever dream of. And, I mean, he even apparently had a bit of a feud with Jevil, considering the fact that he talks about that damn clown around town. But unlike him, we're gonna shoot for the stars. But in chasing his popularity, and possibly because of his paranoia due to the shady deal he made, and now whoever he made the deal with wanting to collect on the debts, he pushed away everyone in his life. He ruined all his relationships. He burnt his bridges with Queen and the mansion inhabitants. He burnt his bridges with the Addisons. He burnt his bridges with Tenna and the rest of TV world. He's effectively completely abandoned the world around him by the time of Chapter 2. This is just what happened to him. He sacrificed all of his connections for that fleeting, thrill of possibly the chance of ever being a big shot ever again. And while I do feel like that is kind of a unfortunate note to leave off the video on, this is very much a sort of Shakespearean tragedy. You have the first 3 acts of the build-up to the tragedy, and then you have the next 2 acts dealing with it. And that was sort of Spamton's life. In the beginning, he was the salesman. He grew big. In Act 2, he was finally able to achieve that big shot status. He was finally able to be big. He became bigger than Tenna. He got affiliated with Tenna. He became very popular, being a big shot. And then Act 3, he was sort of stabbed in the back by whoever was on the other side of the line because he likely didn't pay his end of the bargain. And then Act 4 was, him getting evicted, the front cats being after him changing his appearance, and Act 5 was big shot and finally giving up. However, I do feel there is some hope for Spamton, especially considering at the end of the normal route fight, when you actually spare Spamton, he sort of joins the fun gang. Well, not joins the fun gang, but he enters Kris's pocket after sort of promising to be the fun gang strength that they can use to free themselves from their own strings, which he himself was never able to free himself from. So there is sort of that almost selfless side to Spamton that isn't really seen much. At the end of the day, he still makes a self-sacrificial, but also highly possibly freeing choice to the fun gang, of where he will give them the chance to gain the freedom he was never able to get. He is sacrificing himself, giving them his strength, so that they may get the happy ending he was never able to get. And to me, that is actually kind of a bit heroic for a character who is the sleazy salesman. Though, that's all I have to say for now, guys, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye!